Okay guys, so the straight live content 15 minutes. Think so? Yeah, the scoreline is obviously very flattering for us. I don't know whether the first half was so dominant, but I think the most pleasing thing of the reason why it was great to end in that way is that we grew as a group. You know, there's a lot of lads got some well-deserved game time. There's a bit of controversy that went. That we had to deal with throughout the morning and right up until kick-off, and we dealt with it pretty well. So it's pretty pleasing.
Could you give us a timeline on kind of when lads are ruled out? And I know you had to bring Nick down.
Jack Conan, he just felt a little bit of something in his quad yesterday, and we gave him till this morning to see how he would wake up, and we thought he'd be okay, but he wasn't. We didn't even get to the warm-up, obviously, with him. So 7:45 this morning, Nick Timoney got a call to come back down from Belfast, and it just shows the strength of the group, and it's exactly what we talked about in there. It shows the strength of the group that he's covering 6, 7, and 8, you know, and can do it seamlessly. And you know, for all the mix-up this morning. Tyg Byrne was covering second row, and then all of a sudden he's covering 6, 7, and 8, and then he's back into second row again, and he plays a match like that. Pete comes off the bench to play the full game and end up captaining the side as a Stormer. So I think the most pleasing part about the month really that we've been together is the cohesion as a group and going forward as a group. He's good. He's fine in there. Obviously, he took a little bit of a knock, but nothing too serious.
Andy, could I just ask you about Joey Carberry, what you made of his overall performance, and was it always the plan to give him time for that?
No, it wasn't always the plan. He's been covering 12 and 15, and there's a few lads that other lads that are in the same position, and they deal with it seamlessly. So I thought he was good. Obviously his place kicking was exceptional, and that keeps the scoreboard ticking over. And for him to be in charge for the full week, with Johnny not being there, was a great experience for Joey. He'll certainly learn a lot from that game, as would Harry as well.
Andy, when you see Joey starting this, he's never started a Six Nations match or a World Cup match. If he's fit during the spring, is there any circumstances that wouldn't see him start one of those games?
We'll see. I don't know. There's a long time till then.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that other lads will have their say as well. You know. So I thought Harry came on and did pretty well. I thought Jack Carter's been playing pretty well. Billy Burns is pretty disappointed not to be here as well. So we'll see when they go back to the clubs and how they perform.
Peter, it's fair to say you weren't that impressed with Thomas Lavanini.
Look, it's heat of the moment stuff. To be fair, I've been on the other side of that as well. So you know, it's split second decision making from his point of view. And look, he's look. That's enough to be said, you know what I mean? I've been on the other side of that as well, so
Yeah, how do you reflect on the whole window?
Sorry?
How do you reflect on the whole window?
Look, I said it after the game, like, it's been, I suppose I speak for the group, it's been an incredibly enjoyable month. We're just chatting inside, having a beer there, and it's just been great fun. You know, we've learned a huge amount, obviously, as a group. You know, but I think the cohesion that we've kind of built has brought us to that next level of, you know, the friendship and that kind of thing is so important. And you know, chatting, just sitting there with Hugo now, we're just saying, you know, I've loved the month. It's probably my most enjoyable one of my career so far, which is, you know, it's been a while now, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm sure there's a lot of the other lads would say the same.
And you finished with quite a few of the younger guys on the pitch. How did you feel that crop of players went?
Wow, I thought that's why I say today was the most pleasing day for me, because of how we've grown as a group, because those lads thoroughly deserve their chance, and it wasn't just them, it wasn't just the young lads, you know. I suppose you guys will focus on the young lads and say, you know, we're building nicely, a bit of depth, etc. But look at Keane, what he did when he came on. Look at the experience of Earlsey and what he brings to the bench. Pete's been on the bench a couple of times as well, and has been exceptional when he comes on. So it's a squad thing, but those lads that you're talking about, they deserved a big block of time. I thought they was exceptional. You know, look, the two halfbacks come on and speed the game up. You know, it's there for all to see. Dan comes on and gets 9 out of 9. And looks such a presence with ball in hand and line speed defensively as well. So that's great. And Ryan Burke comes on and wasn't playing until 8 o'clock this morning, and seamlessly comes on and has a few big moments as well. So Tom O'Toole has been around the group for a good while, and he has grown massively in maturity as far as his scrummaging is concerned, first and foremost, but in and around the group as an Irish rugby player. You know, I'm so pleased with him, because he's been patient enough learning his trade. It's a tough old position, tight end for a young kid, and he was exceptional when he came on as well. You know, nice and composed.
Kevin Dara seems to have kind of gone to another level in the last 3 games. What's behind that?
I think Caelan, he would admit himself, he's like the rest of them. They're learning how to prepare properly, and Caelan's only young in his international career, and the same as Hugo, etc. You know, but they're learning how to prepare better, learning how to get the best out of themselves and the teammates throughout the week. And it looks like he's been around for a long time, but he's certainly playing with maturity, because he's starting to get what it takes to be as far as preparation is concerned, to be a top-class international player.
And Peter, can I ask you, just, you've seen Joey go through the tough times up close, obviously, how pleasing is it for the players to see him?
Yeah, look, it's been great. It's, you know, he had a rough 18-month period, and you know, he's an incredible professional, and you know, he stuck at it, kept his head down, and you know, he's gathering momentum now that you know, he hasn't had in a long time, just putting games back to back, and you know, been around the environments, not just rehab, and once you're back in the squad, it's different. You know what I mean? Back amongst team environments, you know, it's tough in your rehab, and I've been there, and it's a hard old place to be for that period, you know. But he's come back, and he's adding to the environment, adding to the enjoyment, and obviously the performance side of things, the preparation side of things, like Faz has spoken about. He's driving that on, and he's grown in experience, which is important for an old half, I think, as well. So again, he's only young, so he's getting there.
How easy is it to switch in late, as opposed to having the whole build up of being in the team, and then a couple of times now you've come in on the day? So, is that difficult to adapt to, or does that suit you? Is there any benefits from just getting the nod later on?
Well, look, we prepare all week, and you know, we're in and out during the week, and you know, you have to be ready to go. You know, I spoke about Nick coming down last night. You know, he's in Ulster, up in Belfast last night. He's down this morning, and he comes on and does what he does. You know, you've got to be ready, but it's your preparation and your confidence and you know, your ability comes from your performance during the week and training, and the confidence you get from that. So it doesn't matter what point you get told, because you've done your work and you're ready to go. You know. He'd
be humble enough not to say that it's tough. It is tough, you know, like, because he has to be across 3 positions. Yeah, you know, and he knows them inside out. But I give you an example of today that. As I said, Tyke Burns covering second row, then he's covering 6, 7 and 8 this morning, and all of a sudden he's back into second row. He's not called lineouts all week, but yeah, he was calling the lineouts as well today. And you know, our lineout was 100% for the first time in quite some time. So it just shows the work that these lads are putting in behind the scenes.
Peter, we have the Ref Link and so does television, which would have peaked around somewhere around 750,000 viewers tonight. I've never seen you as upset at an opposition player as you were at Thomas Lavanini. That's harking back to bad old days, isn't it? It's generally something that kind of foul play is going out of the game to an extent. So could you just tell us just how upset you were?
Well, look, I've spoken about it already. You know, these things happen. It's split-second stuff for him. You know what I mean? He's trying to make an effort to clean someone out, and you know, I think he's got it wrong from what I thought at the time. And you're trying to look after your buddies. You know what I mean? You're trying to look after your mates, and the last thing you want to see them is injured. But from his point of view, it's tough as well. You know what I mean? It's literally fractions of seconds, and you know, at the time I was pissed off. But you know, as I said, I've been on the other side of it. You know what I mean? You're talking about hundreds of seconds where pictures change, and you know, red card, and you know, the disappointment for getting a red card for your country is nothing that people can experience. You know, so I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
And could I just ask you about Josh right here? Jack Bowler indicated Irish got a lot of plaudits over the last
Yes.
week.
It's a good question.
Since he's sort of adding the carrying threat, just speak a bit about his development and how important he is to that back row.
He's been outstanding, Josh, in the 3 games, and I know that he's come off in all 3 games, but he's been exceptional. He's entered himself. In fact, he's got us out of a lot of trouble a lot of times in the 3 games just by his sheer want to not get stopped in his carry. You know, he's been outstanding, and I think something clicked with Josh when Will Connors was coming onto the scene, and you know, we know that Will's a great player and he's going to come back from injury pretty soon and push for a claim as well. But Josh, you know, has stood up to the competition, and he's been exceptional this month.
Take the last couple, guys.
And just, I suppose this kind of stinginess about you guys in defence, like you're not like letting them in for easy scores at the end. But I suppose there's one that really jumped out to me was Joey Carberry stepping up to make a big tackle right before the end. That just kind of personifies what's going on in the.
Well, you know, he's you know, you guys have been asking the questions about the most pleasing part of our game over the last few games, and 100% in our eyes it'll be our defence, and that typified it today, because they were asking questions in the first half, but we were physical, and the pride that we had in our own line towards the end just epitomised it really. And you know, you look at somebody like Joey, and you know, I suppose in months or seasons gone by, you would say that he needs to work on that, and he's been working unbelievably hard. I think he's been exceptional defensively over the last 3 weeks.
And then, I suppose it's just someone like Robbie Henshaw, first game of the season, and then to play 65 minutes as well. Like, what do you think of how he got on, and just the work that he was probably doing in the background to get ready to play a test match?
He's preparing like everyone else, just to be ready if called, and it's no surprise to us that Robbie just gets on and starts his season off. And you know, that's the warm-up game for Robbie, isn't it? Like, you know, so it just shows the professionalism of the man to be able to come in a test match like that. Look, we know before the start of this game, we know how we prepared for how the game was gonna. We expected the game to go. That was a physical warfare, like, you know, because of how they play the game. And Robbie was just being himself all week, and he epitomised what we're trying to be as a team.
Take the last one.
I just heard, Andy, did you mention Ian Henderson at the start there? What actually happened?
Hamstring went in the warm-up. Yeah.
Gavin Coombs, sorry, did we ask about
Gavin Coombs, he's not been with us towards the end of the week, so he missed a good few weeks training, obviously through being ill and being away from the group, etc. So Gavin has gone back with Munster on Thursday. So we'll see how he progresses over the coming months. I wouldn't like to say for definite.
Okay, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thank you.